One allegation against his son and his son's life is over.
Everybody, this is the time to put pressure on the government because of the wrong.
Andrew Tate's lawyer is trying to apply pressure to the US authorities and even high-level politicians to release the brothers, but some of this is becoming unhinged when he's saying stuff like this.
If things don't work out with bail or with extradition, the boys can't be extradited without the Secretary of State signing off on that. The Secretary of State is, of course, Marco Rubio. Look, Marco Rubio has a son who plays football in college in Florida right now. One allegation against his son and his son's life is over.
If you look at this being clipped and the best possible way, maybe he's trying to humanize the situation, saying this could happen to your son, but it does sound bad. He literally said the Secretary of State of America, who had the final decision to pull the trigger and get Andrew Tate and Tristan extradited, that his son could be accused of something. Why would you say that about someone's son randomly and mention you know they play football? It's as if they're trying to put him off a little bit and do anything they can at this stage. Gadget we know hates Tate and said on X, real Donald Trump, Mr. President, sir. This man says that his client Andrew Tate was a important part of your election victory. He's warning you what will happen if you don't help him evade extradition for charges of human trafficking, rape and child pornography. Do you take orders from Joseph McBride, Mr. President? He says how basically Andrew Tate was an important part of President Donald Trump winning his last election, and if Trump doesn't support him and if the next people are going to be running for office potentially are just like, yeah, down the river he goes, that young coherent of people will break the Republican Party in the next election. They're basically saying he's relying on Andrew Tate now to support him throughout the next elections. Obviously, Trump wants to go again. And they said that AOC will be the next president without the manosphere and Andrew Tate. If you're a superhero, is betrayed by someone, he tells me, the person who betrayed them, how can you support them ever again? One thing that is clearly evident this time round is Andrew Tate has lost a lot of support, whether that's to do with a crypto scam, whether that's people just wanting a situation to be over and a trial to go ahead to deem what happened. His support system isn't what it once was. And their lawyer is an interesting situation because he's heavily invested in the case and winning. He's obviously paid very well by the Tate brothers, but he's also adopted their personality as if he's a third brother, with the Matrix sign and him actually believing they're defeating evil and their whole message that comes with it.
The whole internet has seen the video that I made. It's going viral across the whole internet right now. How did that come about? Not from me. That came about from the Lord. The same way I am now standing here with Andrew Tate's lawyer. I want to ask you, brother, are you guys fighting the most evil and most powerful people in the world right now?
There is no question about it. This is a fight. This is the eternal fight of good versus evil. This is the oldest fight in the book, the oldest fight in all of creative history. It is the synagogue of Satan. It is the church of evil. It is the secular, humanistic, anti-God church that tells you that a man can't be a man, a woman can't be a woman, people shouldn't get married, and you should sacrifice your babies to God knows what.
Yeah.
This is evil, hardcore bona fide evil that we're fighting against. And Andrew and Tristan Tate are two generals in that war.
Yes. And you have here a Christian and a Muslim standing together in unity, just like the brothers. Stop the division, the people. Now you have to take action. This is the time. When you see right or wrong, you have to be on the side of right. Everybody, this is the time to put pressure on the government because of the wrong.
One of their main tactics has been trying to put pressure on the government. That's what he's been doing since he got locked up, and Tate's doing it through his legal team when he tweets as well. 100 Labour councillors campaigned for the Democrats while calling Trump a rapist and trying to put him in jail. Now these same councillors are calling me a rapist and they put me in jail. Here I sit. Elon Trump, some of the most powerful people ever having any association whatsoever to Andrew Tate, cannot risk it because of Epstein. They're accusing, not that he's done it, they're accusing Andrew Tate of being a knockoff version of Epstein. Human trafficking, rape, and now child charges they're trying to put on there. If any of them guys support them and it blows up in their face, they do get convicted in the UK. Things could go left. But their lawyer has said that their life is put in danger every time someone associates Epstein and the Tates names together.
And these people have not only tried to convince me to, they fucking spoke to me. They've sat me down and said, look, there's limits. They also spoke to fucking Trump. They tried to put a bullet in his head. He's now the president of the United States. Why is there no investigation into why CNN played Butler, Pennsylvania, his only ever rally they played live on CNN? Why? The one where they try and blow his brains out on camera. Why is Fauci not in jail? Why is Hillary not in jail? Why is Obama not in jail? No one's going to fucking jail for anything. Mr. Trump, you can do your tariffs and you can kick out a few migrants, but there's limits to what you can and can't do. If you want your children to live and you want to keep your towers, you just...
And his lawyer is saying basically they'll be subject to even harsher conditions and treatment once they touch the UK. They're struggling as it is in America.
Every time somebody compares them to Epstein, what they're doing is they're saying these guys are so bad that they deserve to be put in an orange jumpsuit and hung in their prison cells. We would never extradite somebody to North Korea knowing that they were going to be executed. And we shouldn't extradite Andrew and Tristan Tate to the United Kingdom knowing that they'll be executed as well. Because make no mistake about it, they want to lock them up in some horrible prison and make sure that they get murdered. That is fundamentally evil and wrong.
That's disgusting.
As I make this video, Andrew Tate has spent 16 days in prison and he is not enjoying himself at all. He launched an attack on the British government with his latest statement. The British state is attempting to publicly destroy me, an innocent man. It believes it can burn me at the stake publicity as a symbol of how seriously they protected women and vulnerable people. They want you to forget Philip Schofield and Hugh Edwards raped children and never went to jail. They want you to forget 250,000 young girls were raped by grooming gangs with the police cooperation. They want you to forget they allow rapists and murderers to arrive on boat every single day, stab and attack your children and women. They believe destroying me, they can show that they're against these things and tough on crime. But the fact these things happen and continue to happen while they use every power available to chase me around the world does nothing but show the public how corrupt and complicit they are in all the crimes that have taken place. Absolutely nobody trusts the British state anymore.
So why do I get to travel the world so freely? Why have I been to 25 countries this year? Because when I land in Hong Kong and the British government call the authorities and say, we need Andrew Tate, we have a warrant, the authorities say, well, what's the warrant for? And who's it against? And the British state says, we don't want to tell you who the victims are. The victims don't exist, so no country will extradite me. So I'm traveling the world completely free. No country respects England anymore. Nobody's sending me to them. I'm living as a free man. They keep putting on the BBC that they want to get hold of me. And I'm saying, tell me who my accuser is and I'll come talk to you. And they're like, no, because they've completely made it up.
At this point, the decision has been made, and no matter how much pressure they put on the US authorities and try to force that decision to let them out on bail and face this at a later date, they're going to have to come to the UK now and face this. And actually, UK prison conditions might be slightly better than America, because their lawyer actually explained on that same interview how bad it is for them in this prison right now.
The American prison system is one of the worst prison systems in the world. It's very, very bad. They're drinking shower water in a 5x7 cell, if that. They don't have they don't have a chair, right? So if Andrew wants to sit down, they have. You've been to a city, whether it's New York, Dallas, Miami. In front of the buildings, they have sort of these black metal blocks that keep people from driving bikes and vehicles in. They have like a concrete stub. You can sit on that if you want. Obviously, who the hell wants to sit on that? Yep. Andrew 6'3", Tristan 6'5", respectively, and the beds aren't big enough. I'm 6'1". The beds aren't big enough for me. They're certainly not big enough for you. So Tristan's got to sleep like sitting up half the time.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's horrible. They don't have the ability to turn their lights on and off. There's not proper ventilation. They've been out a total of 3 days since they've been in. So they've been out 3 days, and they've been given 1 hour each day. So that's a total of 3 hours over the course of 11 days. That's inhumane. It's disgusting. It's wrong. In terms of access to commissary, communication with the outside world, they haven't been given it. It's only us. So we're here. I'm right across the street. Walk over to the jail. Both myself and co-counsel over here, we're going to see them twice a day, every day, to check in on them. And we're not going to disappear until the war has been won.
Many people are actually confused because the Tate brothers have said on various occasions they had a case dropped in the UK. The CPS didn't decide to prosecute them. And apparently this was down to the women discussing on their phone whether they should mention that they had alcohol on that night that was provided to them by Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate claims they were trying to extort him for money.
In a statement issued via his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied the assault or rape. He said, "They wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me." Sally said, "The CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk.
I spoke about earlier in the video the lack of support for Andrew Tate this time round. There was a small revolution among Tate fans, but this time round there's not many people coming out. You had one person standing outside of his court case.
They said it was a laughing stock. They said it was a laughing matter. Now here we are in 2026, 12 years later, equidistant from 2002 as to 2014. And here we are, and Donald Trump is the president. Made in America, Tesla. Shout out.
And I think that's massively because Andrew Tate has been begging for extradition and to take this to court to see what they've actually got. So either way round, people just want to see what happens in the trial and if they get convicted of the crimes now.
So the extradition process is just sending him to the UK, where he is a citizen. He faces over 40 charges, including 10 accusations or 10 charges, and then they'll be presented in court and he can exonerate himself if he's actually innocent. Why would you be against that?
I mean, I never necessarily said that I was against that.
But you said free him from his current extradition process.
Well, what I mean is free him from where he's being held right now. I'm just saying I'm not against him going to court. Yeah. And even he's not. By the way, he said himself, innocent men don't run. So how about we actually take this to court and stop dragging it on? Notice how
that's what extradition is.
The process is the punishment. They're dragging this for years. Why don't we just go to court? Let's do that. Let's speed it up.
But you're protesting against his extradition, and the whole point is to send him there and he gets his day in court. That's the point. You can't prosecute someone without extraditing them first. And you're protesting the extradition.
I'm just protesting the fact that he's being held with no conviction.
That, I mean, okay, that's just any sort of pretrial detention, but
so let's see what happens in court then, bro.
When you're fighting extradition, something you're not going to get is bail, especially when you have the access and money that Andrew Tate has. He has access to a yacht that's being built. He can get on a plane and go anywhere. He can go to a country that makes it even tougher to extradite him back to the UK. He was never going to get bail and not sit behind bars in this recent arrest. Of course, there is a system in the UK of shared prison cells, but Tate's lawyer believes to actually put further damage on them, they could be separated in completely different prisons once they touch the UK, away from each other completely.
If there's no bail, unfortunately, what are the chances of getting the bros in the same cell so they can at least be together? Question mark.
We'll see what we can do. I tell you, if they go to England, they'll probably send them to 2 different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to do it. Yeah, they'll do that. Yeah.
Tate's team feel like they kind of owed something from Donald Trump, but putting pressure the way they're doing it now and actually making subliminal threats will actually backfire and make things 10 times worse for them. They could end up staying in prison in the US and eventually get into the UK for another sentence. They don't want to catch another charge before they even get extradited.
But you're trying to stop him from going to court. You're saying free him. They're trying to send him to court.
His day in court, and even he said innocent men don't run. I'm pretty sure he wants to go to court and prove his innocence.
But then why are so many of his allies lobbying against his extradition?
That he shouldn't be able to go through the legal process.
You went outside where he's being held and tweeted free Tate, and he's being held
without trial. That's ridiculous.
Well, he's being held in advance of an extradition hearing where he's contesting. He's saying, I don't want to be extradited to the United Kingdom.
I mean, fair enough, bro. But hey, let the man have his day in court. We don't.
I agree. That's why I want him extradited to the United Kingdom. Let's go.
Andrew Tate himself, I haven't actually seen stuff on this from the UK government, has claimed he's on a similar sort of watch list as a threat to the public, as a terrorist would be. So it'd be interesting to see how they deal with the extradition and the public access that journalists can have to the court case as well, and what information they're going to release, whether it will be done behind closed doors. It'd be very interesting to see once he actually touches soil in the UK how this case will play out, and of course I'll keep you updated on this channel.